Hey, lovers. Welcome to the Book Lovers Club, the podcast where we celebrate Black Sapphic love stories, one book at a time. I'm your host, Joy, a married lesbian, lifelong book lover, and relational communication scholar. Here, we don't just read the romance, we learn from it. I believe that love stories can do more than just entertain us. They can teach us how to love better, how to see ourselves more clearly, and how to create the love life of our dreams. Each week, I'll dive into sapphic stories written for us and by us, while weaving in personal insights and communication lessons you can take off the page. So grab your drink, get cozy, and let's turn the page together. Welcome to the club. Well, hey, book lovers, welcome back. And we have a special guest this week, my wifey.
Whoop whoop.
So, yes, wifey is joining me for this week's episode, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the book. But before we jump into that, it is week 3. This is my 3rd episode. So, that's 3 weeks of consistency to me.
You've been doing the damn thing, baby.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just so excited, y'all. Like the support and reception of what I'm doing is just so great. And just, I've been in a really good mood. I'm having a lot of fun doing this and just channeling my creativity into this. And right now we have 20 people signed up for the in person book club meeting. So I'm excited to meet all of y'all. I hope people actually show up and we can vibe in person and then get this thing off the ground because I've been really excited to join a queer book club. And the Fable, we got people still finding their way over to Fable and the conversations have been going, but I'm just really enjoying this whole journey. I appreciate everybody who's been like sharing my podcast with their friends and talking about it and asking about it and just checking in about it. But yeah, I'm just really grateful. Just really grateful. But I'm excited to have you here with me today.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so if this works out, maybe you'll be a repeat guest on my podcast.
Maybe. Maybe.
But yeah, y'all, it's just been a really very exciting journey. I think a lot of people have aspirations of being like a content creator or a podcaster, blogger, and it's always more work than you think it is. Like people really make this stuff look so easy, but the amount of time that goes into like editing your content, editing video, making the graphics, like even editing the audio, it's a learning curve to all of this. And just I think that some people sometimes get overwhelmed when they actually try to do these things because they don't realize, one, how time consuming this stuff is, and two, like just how much really goes into bringing all these things together and to do it. And if you're somebody who's interested in doing exactly what I'm doing, like for real, the best way to do it is to literally just jump in there and get to it, because the more that you do it, the better you get, because it's all about practicing. So rip the band-aid off, y'all, and like put your content out there. But anyway, it's just been a really good journey so far, and I'm having a really good time and having a lot of fun. But this week we're going to talk a little bit more about the book, but we're going to let y'all get to know us a little bit better. So I know I've been telling y'all that my coming out journey was messy, and we were going to save that conversation for another day. Well, today's the other day, so we're going to talk about it today. But in Devon and Kris, Devon is going through her own coming out journey throughout this story. So, for those of you who are just now finding me, this book that we're reading this month is Devon and Kris Plan a Wedding. And in the book, they go on a reality TV show called Instant I Do. And the whole purpose of the show is for them to convince their family and friends that they are madly in love and planning a wedding in 6 weeks. Okay, but nobody knew that they were dating or any of these things before this announcement came out that they're getting married. The couple who successfully convinces their family that they are getting married, because they have to get their family to help them plan the wedding. The couple who does this can win $100,000. That's the prize. Okay. So in doing this, Devon has to come out to her family, and just reading about that whole process of her coming out to her family and how that unfolded. And they're a religious family. She's deep in the church. Okay, so I really did enjoy the the way she talked about her religion and her faith, and just how this is tied up with her family and being in the church. But today we're going to kind of just talk about our own coming out journeys. Reading about Devon and her coming out experience, and just how Kris supported her through that whole scene made me very emotional and made me think about my own coming out journey, and having to have that conversation with my mother and discussing all of that. So I wanted to talk to y'all about that today. So I'll start with you, Bae, since you're here. I don't want to just be talking and I got a guest.
Okay.
Okay, so you know, when we first started dating,
Mhm.
I was telling you, like, it took me a long time to get to this point of where I really wanted to live out loud
Mhm.
and wanted to love very out loud. I didn't want to be closeted. I didn't want to have to hide you from anybody. I was happy, and I'm like, I want to be able to talk about this and be in this. So I let you know, like, I don't want to be in a relationship that I got to hide.
Yeah.
So how was that? Because, you came out to your family when we first started dating. Just kind of talk to me a little bit about how was that for you?
I mean, I think it was cool
Mm-hmm.
because I was more like in a glass closet, I think.
But what do you mean that you felt like you were in a glass closet? That other people think you like? Were people surprised when you
I
came out?
mean, like because like the girl mama was like, I know. Like I mean, so people told me that, yeah.
Oh, okay. Did your mom tell you that? Did she know?
My mother told me that she was concerned when she dropped me off on my first day of college when she seen one of my teammates.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, wifey played D1 college basketball. And the stereotype is that most of the women on women's basketball teams tend to be gay. Because, like, even right now, like, them throwing the dildos on the court at the WNBA
Yeah,
games
that's
is
just
out of
wild.
pocket. Yes, it's so wild and it's
But they've
inappropriate.
been doing it in NFL games. They just not talking about it. They sweeping that real under.
I mean, as long as they keeping that same energy, okay? It's wrong all around. But but anywho, so wait, so your mama saw the gay girls on your team and was like,
It wasn't the gay girls. It was just the one.
hmm.
It was this one stud, and like, yeah, her pants was like super low, like super low with basketball shorts underneath. It was crazy. She had on these her jeans was around her knees because she had on some basketball shorts underneath.
Okay.
And so I think that was cause for pause for my mama, I guess.
you know, so I didn't have the luxury of like choosing to come out to my mom. So, okay, I'm gonna give y'all some messy details, but kind of keep it cute. I'm gonna keep it cute. So every guy that I had dated in the past knew that I had an attraction to women. I didn't necessarily identify as bisexual. I didn't know what I was. I just knew that I was attracted to women. And technically, my first kiss was with a girl. It's just I didn't think it counted. I don't know. Like, it's just everybody always talks about doing things with boys. So it's just like I just thought that it was something that I had to do. And I know that sounds silly, but you know, I didn't go natural. This is relevant. It'll come together, but I stopped perming my hair in 2009 after I watched that Chris Rock Good Hair documentary. And I remember watching that documentary, and then at the end, they were talking about natural hair. And it's like I had this epiphany, this thought, like, we don't have to relax our hair. Like, we don't have to do that. It's just something that I've always done. And it was just always this thing that we had to do with our hair. It never dawned on me. I promise y'all, never dawned on me that this was something that I did not have to participate in. Once I saw that documentary, I was like, oh, I'm not relaxing my hair anymore. Like, my whole perspective on life changed. And once I did that, I started questioning everything. You know what I mean? Like, it made me question, like, do I have to do any of this stuff? So the guy that I was dating at the time, I was expressing this to him because I had saw the documentary with him. I started questioning, like, do I need to relax my hair? Do I even need to date men? So I told him I've always liked women. I just never acted on it. I've never explored dating women. And he was telling me, like, well, how would you know if you've never tried it? You should try it. Y'all, he like really was encouraging me to explore my sexuality and to like try something with the woman. I genuinely know, I know that he thought he was going to end up with two girlfriends. Okay, so I went ahead and explored it. Like he knew the woman I was trying to talk to. He was encouraging me, talk to her, flirt with her back. Like he was like real knee deep in it, okay? But when I actually acted on it, he was shook that he wasn't included. But the whole time I was like, why would a man be there? Like, why would I be involving a man in this? I don't know. But anyway, he didn't realize that she was a stud. So, like some of the pictures that she had online, like, cause I'm telling you, he was so involved in this. Like, you should explore. How do you know if you really like women if you never really acted on it or whatever? So, once he realized that she was a stud, he was not feeling it. Like, nah, I'm not cool with this. So now I felt conflicted because I finally got to the point where I was like ready to explore this and figure out what this meant for me, this attraction that I had to women. And now he's saying like he don't really feel comfortable no more. So I told him, you know what? I think we need to break up. I don't want to be cheating on you. Like, I think that I need to be single so that I can explore my sexuality and figure out, am I straight? Am I a lesbian? Am I bisexual? Like, I needed to figure this out for myself. Y'all know he called my mama and told my mother that I was breaking up with him because I'm gay. Like, legit called my mama. I was in the process of packing my bags to move back home because we were living together. And, so my mom calls me freaking out. What he mean you gay? You know we don't do that gay stuff in this family. You can't bring that gay stuff in this house and all this stuff. And I was like, well, I was literally packing up my car with my shit on my way to take that gay stuff right up into her crib. So I was shocked, like, what are you saying to me, woman? So that was so uncomfortable having to have this conversation with her, and I wasn't really ready. And the question she was asking me, like, I don't really know. Like, I'm still trying to figure this out for myself. And that's when I started blogging. I had an anonymous blog called Naughty Librarian Confessions. And like I was blogging my coming out journey, and I was on Tumblr. All of that helped me really get through this. But yeah, I got outed. And then I still had to have numerous conversations with her after that to remind her that I was still gay. Cause it took my mama a while. She was still trying to like hook me up with men. I think she thought it was a phase. And then once I actually like acted on it and like started dating a woman, I realized like I don't even think I'm bisexual. I think I'm a lesbian. Cause I started talking to people and I learned like needing to fantasize about women to enjoy having sex with a man is not things that straight women do. And I didn't realize that until I started talking to friends. So my coming out was real messy. But reading the book and seeing how supported Kris was, like hearing her talk about how she came out with her family and how supportive they were of her, and even how her family like just embraced Devon when they were talking. Like, I just wish all of us could experience that. Now, not too much on my mama. She's come a long way, okay? She's really come a long way, but it was rough in the beginning there. And I think it's just, I feel like, I was robbed of the opportunity to come out on my own terms. Like you got a chance to like have that conversation when you were ready for it.
I mean, kind of, yeah.
What do you mean, kind of? Yeah.
Because you was coming around so much, so she started asking more questions. Like, the fuck she always around for?
So I came out to my mother. I disclosed to my mother, but I just started bringing women around to family functions. I didn't really tell the rest of the family. I ain't.
Oh, see, my cousins, they asked.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker hit me like, I'm cooking dinner and she cooked something I wanted. I said, cool, yeah, I'll come have dinner. Then she started asking all these questions, and I was gay back. I don't know. I guess they wait to connect with me or something.
I get you.
Yeah. But my perspective is, if sexuality is enough to drive you away, then we not meant, whoever it is. You know what I mean?
I know, but a lot of people do have this fear around coming out because, the fear of being disowned. Like sometimes, like if you're living with your family and you're having to stay with them, and, there is a real
Yeah,
fear
my
around
house, my
disclosing that.
rules,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get kicked out.
Mm.
The fear of harm, like if you're in a family where they put hands on you and you disclose to them and now they become even more abusive, like it's a lot of reasons why people choose not to disclose. The way that heterosexuality is kind of just pushed on us. They always talk about the gay agenda. There's very much a straight agenda. Like, all we are taught is hetero dynamics. Every time I read like a young adult sapphic book, I always think about like it would have been so nice to have books or been exposed to stuff like this when I was younger. I knew that I liked women when I was really young.
I mean, I think many people do.
Yeah, I just didn't think that that was something that I don't know. It took me a while to see it for what it was and to be able to identify it, but it was always there. And like I said, my first kiss was with the girl. Like, so my mom, she had a friend, and me and her daughter used to always make out. And I used to look forward to going over to her house so that we can make out. It still didn't register to me that I was gay or I was queer. And I use gay as an umbrella term, y'all. Okay. So gay,
Oh
queer,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
not well versed like that.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, my first my first kiss was with the girl, and I knew when I was young that I liked girls. It just never really seemed like something that I could do or explore. Yeah, so
And look at you now.
I know, and we happily married. Okay, but I was talking to somebody today about like couples who do like couples content and things like that. I will never do that. Like, I'm very protective of my relationship, so I'm not hiding you or nothing. Like, those of you who know me and follow me and stuff, like, I definitely like show my wife, and I'm very proud to be married to her. But I don't need all of y'all up in our business all the time, okay? Because that's how people end up breaking up.
Yeah, I think that's just a lot. Like,
Yeah, I just think it's too performative. Like, every time I see couples and they like are kissing on camera, so y'all set the camera up and then started kissing. Like, I mean, if you like it, I love it. I just, to me, I don't want all of our intimate moments to be for the performance of others. I don't know. I feel like you could lose yourself real quick in that. So it's just something I'm very mindful of.
mm-hmm.
But some people, like, they could do it and do it well. And I'm all for building businesses with your partner. Like, but I do think it's healthy to have some separation between the public and your private life. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but what are your thoughts on just how Kris supported Devon with her coming out, the church scene, and Devon had all those nerves and her talking to her mother and how that whole thing unfolded in the church. I was real proud when she clapped back at her mama at the house. It reminded me of you because I feel like you definitely had to clap back a few times in defense of me. So
Because motherfuckers be out of order.
yeah,
Yeah. I think it was like real admirable how she stepped up for her because it's not for play no more. Now it's starting to be real feelings getting involved. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And she don't give a fuck. Like I don't know your mama. I don't have a relationship with her, so if you out of pocket, I'd be out of pocket back to you.
that's real. But I think she did it in a respectful way.
Oh,
I don't.
she was super respectful, but don't tempt her.
Yeah.
You know?
I get you. I
Yeah.
understand. But yeah, so this week I want y'all to like reflect on, would you date someone that's closeted or that's going through their own journey? Like, not too much on people that are closeted. I definitely understand the choice and not being ready to disclose that. And even this whole process of having to come out, that whole thing, like, the fact that there's even pressure for us to do this. And I feel like every day there's moments where I have to come out over and over again. Some months ago, somebody had asked me about my jacket that I had on, and I was like, oh, yeah, I got that from my partner. And the lady had said, oh, your husband? And I said, no, my wife. And then she clutched her pearls like, oh, like, but why'd you assume it was a man, like my husband? So I feel like I have experiences like that, like every day, where people just assume that it's a husband. And then I have to make, a choice. Do I let them continue with that assumption, or do I check them and be like, no, I have a wife? So it's just these little moments every day. And I can understand why somebody is like, I don't feel like doing all of that. I don't owe them that. I don't want to be out. But there was a time when I was closeted and it started impacting my health. And at the time, I worked at a Catholic university. So, when people think you're straight, they say the craziest shit. while I was working at that Catholic university, people would say a lot of homophobic things. So as I started to realize that I was gay and, was coming out, I didn't feel comfortable even talking about that at work because I already knew how people felt about gay people based off the comments they were making when they thought I was straight. So, that's something I always think about, like that period of my life when I was fighting so hard to conceal parts of who I was going back and forth to the doctor because I was having all of these health issues. And the doctor just kept saying, we don't know what's causing it. I think it's just stress. When you're having to repress parts of who you are, it can have negative consequences on your mind, body, and spirit. So that's just something like I feel like I really started to thrive and really come into myself when I finally had the opportunity to really live in my truth.
It's freedom.
It's
You know what I
freedom.
mean? It's yeah, you releasing some of those emotions and like the energy that's really sitting on you sometimes that weighs on you, and then once you are able to be yourself to everybody else, or to once you're able to be yourself to yourself and accept yourself, everybody else is like, you gonna take me or leave me. You
That's
know what I mean?
facts.
And so like that level of freedom is a release.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, I really like this book for allowing us to engage in these conversations through the experiences of fictional characters. Like, it's very relatable, but it was something very healing about seeing how loving Chris's family is and just how they've been embracing Divine. And, not everybody has that type of family dynamic. And it's just nice to read that on the page. I don't know. It just made me emotional. So,
But Devon's mom, like I think she's a very religious woman, not
mhm.
just spiritual, but religious woman, and who already knew this. So this level of confirmation that she's received and having to work through that, for herself, and having to witness Chris's family is just
Yeah.
that did something to her spirit.
I think that was the eye opener too when she was like, "Oh, she thought that their family knew Devon longer than she knew Kris."
Just based on how they interacted. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it made her look at herself like, "Well, if they embracing my baby like that, I need to figure it out."
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a real gut check for sure.
Yeah. And, next week we'll talk about our experience with planning our wedding and everything, since they're going through this journey too in the book of coming together with their families to plan this wedding. But even that, I had a lot of anxiety, y'all, around merging our families, and I think that's part of it. When you are around someone else's family and seeing how they love up on your baby, like, I just had a lot of anxiety around how my mother would perceive my relationship with my in-laws and how they would get along, all these things. So, even though all of this is happening very fast because of the nature of the reality TV show aspect in the book, this is all like a 6-week time frame on this reality show. They're dealing with some real things that married couples and people who are engaged have to navigate as they're planning their weddings. So, and this is all happening in a very fast paced setting with strangers. So it's forcing them to get intimate and know each other very fast. So,
And I will say, in defense of Devon's mom, like I can't imagine not only you telling me you gay, but you getting engaged.
yeah.
Like I just can't imagine that. Or my sister doing that to me.
Hmm.
Somebody who I perceive to be close to me pulling something like that. So the emotions that they facing is like, to me it's so real.
Yeah.
I don't know nobody's mama who's just gonna pop up and be like, "Oh my god, you my daughter-in-law, hey, welcome."
Yeah. So I
Like,
mean, the feelings are valid. Their feelings are
yeah.
valid. So, but this week, I want y'all to really just take a moment to reflect on your life, and are there opportunities where you can be living more out loud? Just thinking about last week and the homework I gave y'all, just kind of leaning into that. But I think the big takeaway from this book in general is just being happy and in love and loud and proud about it and basking in it. So, with that, that's our time. Did you have any final thoughts that you wanted to share
Oh
before
no,
we
like I
hopped
said, you
off?
doing the damn thing, baby.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm practicing having a guest, and because I want to have more people on the show to
Uh-huh.
talk with me and stuff. So, what is it? Progress, not perfection.
Yeah, the winner of the game is the one that don't stop.
That's
That's
true.
it.
That's the part.
Yeah.
Okay. But thank you again for tuning in to the Book Lovers Club. If you love today's episode, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a chapter. And if you're feeling generous, leave a review because you know those reviews help other lovers find us. And if you want to keep this conversation going, please join me on Instagram or hop on over to Fable and join our virtual book club. And until next time, remember, the stories we read can help write the love lives of our dreams. See you next Sapphic Saturday.